Sir, of course, one of the president's main platforms in 2016 was the issue of federalism. Now, last year, in fact, in one of our episodes in The Chiefs, economic managers of the president registered their concern over the draft constitution which shifts to federalism. And last month, the president made it clear that kung ayaw niyo ng federalism, huwag na lang. So I have two questions with regard to that. Number one, was it clear to the president and to the finance managers at the start, by 2015, 2016, the costs and the effect of federalism on the economy? And number two, has the president completely given up on the issue of federalism, or is it still an option that is somehow floating around there?
What our economic team meant when we said we have to look at this draft was precisely that. This draft does not answer key economic issues. You know, that draft was a little over 100 pages.
Yes, sir. This is the Puno draft.
And there were 3 pages on in the economics. Cannot be, okay? The business sector, the banking sector, basically the Filipino people have to know a little more about how this new charter is going to affect them and their way of doing business. So we said this particular draft was not adequate to the task. So essentially, if there is a new draft, we will certainly take a good and close look at it.
But there was also concern about the additional costs because of the additional layers being put in place by the very concept of federalism.
Let me just go back to something that happened recently, which was Palawan was split into 3 provinces.
Yes.
All of a sudden, your overhead is times 3. And your productive capacity has not increased. So I don't know how you can handle things like that. And besides, in other countries, rather than split things up, people want to put them together to be more economically viable. So if we are going to study a federalism measure by the House, then it should meet those standards, that it should be more efficient, it should be clearer, it should cost us less rather than more. So I think these are the measures that we will, these are the questions that we will have before them.
But have you come across any draft that would meet your standard? For example, the PDP Laban has its own draft on federalism, has its own proposed concept of federalism.
Yes. Actually, not this federalism issue from the point of view of economics has not been discussed enough. I think we have to put a shoulder to the wheel here and see how it will also affect business. You know, that might be a big disincentive for people to come in, because again, the rules are not going to be clear.
Yeah, but I think to Ed's point, you're making it, I mean, it sounds as if you're saying, well, we have to see a more reasonable version of this.
Yes.
But my question is there something fundamentally actually not really viable with the very idea of federalism in our country?
No. There's nothing fundamentally unviable about it. But there are unviable versions of it.
Yeah.